Welcome back everybody to the Rebel Chums channel. Today we have a live discussion regarding the new Saberforge entry-level veteran tier soundboards. 1 second please, I need to kick my son. Jim, stop that sound, otherwise I'll take away your phone. It's not funny. Hey, how you doing, Cress? Sorry, my son has an app on his phone and I'm about to kill him if he doesn't stop using that app. Okay, thanks. So, thanks for tuning in, Crash, and hopefully more people join very soon. We're gonna talk about the new Saberforge entry-level soundboards. I wanted to take this opportunity to delve right into it and discuss that with you guys. Get to know your feedback. What do you think about these soundboards? Do you think they have an added value? Do you think they're too expensive, too cheap? Do you like the features that you have seen so far or not? Hey Nick, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. So we're gonna straight into this discussion here. And so it has been announced this week that Saberforge has 2 new soundboards. Let me just go right into the material that we have available. Excuse me. Let me see if I'm flipping the screen here. I need to do that with the additional tools that I have here. But we can do it. Yes, here we go. So, whew, we're looking at the Saberforge website now, and this is what they announced. Saberforge is pleased to announce 2 new entry-level boards and brand new tier to bridge the gap between Warrior and Champion tier. So that's a very good news actually. That's what I was waiting for, because to be honest, the Sabre Core 3.0 is a expensive investment. It's an additional $250 for a Sabre Core 3.0 soundboard, and that's a big gap from going from a Warrior tier. So let's take a step back. Initiate tier, let's say an Elite Sabre, costs you $150. To upgrade it to a Warrior tier that includes light, a battery, a charger, and a blade, cost you $100 more. Then if you want to have sound, the next very step available so far was the Sabre Core upgrade, which is an additional $250. So you're looking at a hilt of $150, $100, sorry, no, actually that's not right. That's not right. That's not right. I'm saying bad stuff here. Let's delve right into it. let's do a small calculation before we go into the new soundboard. Let's say I bought this lightsaber, which I actually did, and I'm gonna do a review of that very soon. So let's say we're gonna select a tier. Now, initially you went from an empty hilt to a Warrior tier, $100 extra. If you went to from a empty hilt to a Champion, you went up by $250. So it's $150 plus $250, $350. Now we have additional options, and of course you had the hero, which is still there, is $450 extra. Woo! That is expensive. That's super expensive. Anyway, so they announced these 2 new boards. What do we get with these 2 new boards? There's 2 versions, and I want to know from you guys what your feedback is. But when I read this is how I read it, right? It's my personal opinion. This is how I absorb the information. It's stating the Veteran 2.5 import features 3 sound fonts. So 3 sound fonts, flicker on clash, 2 aux effects, so blaster effects and some other effects when you push that button, a physical motion sensor with no menu. The loose board is $40 if you want to install it yourself. A fully upgraded, including blade, light up switch, in-hilt recharge charger, warranty, blah blah blah, is $185. So that's $185 versus the $250 for the Champion tier upgrade, which also includes the charger, the warranty, the light up switch, and etc. So looking at now is a $75 difference between the budget board and the Champion board. And then we have the Veteran 2.5 USA, features 2 sound fonts, 5 flicker speed, 1 aux effect, and an accelerometer with voice menu, which basically equals to a Sabre Core 2.0, but instead of 1 sound font, it has 2 sound fonts. And I bet my ass that the old Sabre Core 2.0 actually could support two concurrent sound fonts, but they never did that because they want to have additional money coming in for the Crimson soundboard and the Viridian soundboard, so they separated that. But the soundboard itself probably could support both sound fonts on said soundboard. Either way, that board is around $10 more expensive loose, and it costs $200 installed. So that means there's only $50 difference with the Champion tier, which basically has configurable sound banks, better sensitivity, more features, more options. I feel like for $50 difference, that is actually not too much for a budget board difference. Like the step between the budget board and the Champion board isn't that big enough for me in terms of cost. Because if I look at these two boards and probably the veteran import, an import that implies to me that is probably actual real import soundboard. That is probably somewhere from China or something. That is not made by Saberforge. It's a cheap OEM board that has been installed. And I'm just very curious about that. Oh, John, I'm not sure if you're looking now in the live stream, but my Facebook is blocked, so I still have 1 hour and then I can reply you again, because my Facebook has been blocked for the last 5 days. I couldn't reply, couldn't like anything. But it's a different story. Whew! Nick says, oh, yeah, sorry. Jim, stop, make the sound, turn off the sound, please, so people can hear it. So, sorry about that, guys, about the bleeping sound. Yeah, I know. So here is the video by Saberforge on their website. Now, I'm not turning on the sound because otherwise there will be too much of a... here we go. So this is one to show off. So, these are the soundboards. We have the Sabercore 2.0. This is the old soundboard, right? Then we have the Sabercore 2.5 USA. Okay, that's a smaller board. And then we have the Sabercore 3.0, it's a way bigger board. And then you have the Sabercore 2.5 import. Now, here is exactly what I'm gonna talk about. And I'm gonna move here. So if you look carefully, these are the two new boards, right? We have the new Sabercore 2.5 import and the 2.5 Sabercore USA. Now, if I look at the architecture of the board, including the chipsets, etc., you can notice that the import board is not laying flat on the surface. You see that? It's actually arced a bit. It's like this. So underneath this board, that's where you have this big black sensor. That is actually the sensor that's on the bottom side. You find it often on cheap soundboards, including stunts boards or very cheap Chinese made boards. They have this big block. It's a round block. It's with two prongs on the bottom. That is basically the device that measures the motion. And that's why you see this picture that is not straight on the ground, because it has this big thing. Also, if you look at the architecture of the board itself, you can see a massive difference in the architecture, as if, and it implies to me that it's actually not from the same factory. This board definitely seems to be from a different manufacturer. This is not coming from the same factory as these boards. As you can see, they're using different components, they're using different information on it. Here you see clearly Sabercore 3.0. This is an in-house developed board. This one is definitely bought OEM. This is coming from another source and probably somewhere from China, which nothing wrong with that, but it's a very basic board. So this is like your Pico Crumble equivalent. And I argue that to say at this point of time that the Pico Crumble is probably better, even though it has only one fixed sound font. It probably have a better motion sensitivity, and its RGB support, has flash on clash, actual flash on clash, not flicker, actual flash on clash support, and is same priced. So that being said, it is an option because not everybody want to install electronics themselves, and the Pico Crumble is more of a do-yourself board. Or if you go to Sabre Trio, for example, you can buy a complete Sabre for $250-ish with set upgraded Pico Crumble 2.5. Is that 2.5 or version 2? Pico Crumble board, which has improved sensitivity and whatnot, and more features, more color channels. So I would say arguably you can stack this Sabre Core 2.5 import and USA board against a Sabre Trio. And if I do that, and I said, okay, I bought this empty hilt, and then I'm gonna go for something similar to what I experienced with Sabre Trio, right? So let's say there's no voice menu. It says actually, that's kind of weird. So the cheaper soundboard actually have 3 sound fonts. The more expensive USA board, that is $15 more, has only 2 sound fonts. That's kind of strange too. But I do believe that the 2.5 USA is definitely the better soundboard. I think this one is much more stripped down, much more light, as in a soundboard. So I think it's even underneath a Pico Crumble. But let's say we want this one. So we go add the Sabre Core 2.5 import, because we want to have a cheap Sabre, right? So we are now at $150 plus 185. So let's see how much we're gonna clock out at. Okay, no extras. Here we go. Okay. Bam, and it's gonna. Oh no! Ah, come on, remove all these parts here. That was from the last video. Haha. You got me, guys. You got me. Go away. So this is gonna cost us $350 US. For $250 US, you can get a really nice Sabre Trio lightsaber. So you're gonna pay $100 more for exact the same stuff, or even less. So unless you want this particular hilt design and you think it's worth $100 extra, but I just stack it up, right? I try to do it as equal as possible, and that's quite a big of difference. So let me read some comments here. Crash said maybe because of the quality and the materials. Yeah, no, I'm definitely sure that the soundboards, the light soundboards, the 2.5 boards are basically the lesser variants of these soundboards. I'm pretty confident about that. We can also go back to that video in a second, and then we're gonna just check what are the how well does it respond to flash clashes and swings, and see how that works out. Let me see if the camera and everything still works for me. I see a massive delay in the chat, guys. Woo! Okay, so either way, I'm gonna go back to this screen. Let me see where we are. The Pico Crumble board. Wow, I see a massive delay. Yeah. Okay. Either way, I think we're in the right direction. So let me know if you're not seeing it. But we're gonna check out the video part of it. So, so the Sabre 2.5 import has 3 sound fonts, 2 aux effects, sleep mode. Sleep mode, that's interesting. Is that deep sleep mode, or do you still need to use a kill key? Probably still need to use a kill key. And a flicker on class, physical motion sensor. The physical motion sensors, that is what the difference is. The physical motion sensor is that black piece that I mentioned. That's why you see in the picture that the Sabre board, board is in an angle. Motion sensor. Let me see if I can show you. Component. I think it's called accelerator meter. Accelerator meter. Components. Jeez, my. I'm so bad, my English. Gosh, I don't see it here. That is so bad. I had it on my. Wait, I know what I. Oh, was this the one? I know. What I can do is Spectra board. JQ Spectra board. This one. This is the one. This is that sensor meter that is being referred to by Saberforge, and that's why you saw that board in an angle. So it's it is what that board. Yeah. Here we go. Actually, there's something else here as well. There's something. Yeah, you can see it. Yes, found it. Haha, I knew it. So underneath, you see that little black piece here? That is the thing I just showed you. That's that round sensor meter. What this part is, it has even have a blue tape around it. I don't know exactly what that is. That might be some sort of a COM port or something in which they can read data or whatnot. If I look at the information on the board, it doesn't show me much. It say SA here. I cannot make up the manufacturer of this board, but there's probably somebody in the community that knows what the sources of these boards are. So they will have it in a ASP system as well. So it will be available probably, hopefully soon, as a quick plug setup, which I want to pick up. I want to pick up one of these quick connect setups, so I can easily compare the different boards from Saberforge. So I'll probably wait till these are on the market. So these are the features. You can see how hard he has to swing. The clashes itself... Yeah, the splashes itself getting recognized. It does sound like a very cheap board, but hey, it's not bad. I'm not gonna knock it. It doesn't sound too bad for that price. But I'll get back to the price because I have one issue with it. Okay, this is actually the 2.5 US board. So you can hear Saberforge Viridian Crimson. That is probably almost identical board as they used in the past, but it's just the same sound founts. Which the Viridian soundboard is not very good, to be honest. So this is the 2.5 USA board. It also will come in a quick setup board. Yeah, this is the Viridian. Okay, so I think what I dare to state at this point is that the Sabercore Viridian, the Sabercore 2.5 USA board is basically your Sabercore 2.0. You have the same sound fonts. Instead of one, you get both of them, the Crimson and the Viridian soundboards sound font. The Viridian sound font is not very good. I don't like it. The Crimson is not bad, and you get the same kind of features, the same audio spoken menu and whatnot. The Veteran 2.5 actually sounds more interesting to me because you get 3 sound fonts, you get 2 aux effects, you hear the blaster sound and that flickery clash sound or Sabre lockup sound. So for me personally, I think the cheaper import board sounds more interesting to me than the Veteran USA board. But let me know in the comments. And then I get to my point. So on the Saberforge website, it's actually not listed yet. If I go to Adaptive Sabre Parts, I go to Plug and Play Electronics, it still only displays the Sabercore 3.0 board. And that is retailing at $200 US. So that is a bit steep. $200 for a Sabercore 3.0 board, but it has a plug and play, it has the speaker on it. What else is included? Okay, so these are also sold separately, so you need to think around 200, no, 240, 200, yeah, around $240. No, that's not correct. $200 for just the soundboard and the thing. And let me just check for you guys, because this is not cheap if I just calculate that correctly. Add to cart. So are we adding in 2 carts? Okay. Okay, so this was $330 versus $250 from Sabre Trio. But I also want to show how much it will cost you if you want to pick it up later. Because a lot of people always ask me, hey, I'm gonna buy this lightsaber and I want to add sound later. How can I do that? So you can do that by buying kits like this. So you buy a plug and play kit. Now then we need to add, of course, we need an LED. We need an LED. We need a latching momentary switch. Yeah, whatever. And we need an LED. So that sets us back a good $250 for this kit, for just a kit. Now I am very curious to see when they put the 2.5 import kit at $185 upgrade, and they put the USA version on $200. So how much are we actually off? So this is $250 for a Sabre Core 3.0 kit, right? 200. Okay. So if we buy an empty hilt and we drop in these electronics ourselves, that would set us back $350, $400 versus the $350. So we for a plug and play kit, we pay around $50 more than for a completely installed Sabre. And that's one of an Elite Sabre, for example. So I would say, and this is my personal opinion, I don't like Saberforge ASP, but when I see this kit, I do think you buy this plug and play set, then you buy maybe 1, 2, 3 empty hilts completely installed. I mean, completely configured and pre-assembled. So you buy, let's say, an empty hilt like this. You just drop in the electronics, and you have a fully working Sabre. Then maybe a month later, you want to get another hilt. Then you get another empty hilt. And then maybe after you do that a few times, you have a whole bunch of empty hilts and you have a bunch of electronics. You can just drop it in there and play with that Sabre whenever you feel like. And then you put it back on the shelves. So, but you don't have to have every lightsaber with electronics in them. I think that is actually a good economic way to collect lightsabers, and that's probably maybe a way that I'm gonna explore further than versus having all your lightsabers outfitted with a soundboard and an LED and whatnot. Especially most of your hilts are just going to be display pieces. You're going to look at them. There's no need to have electronics in them at all the time. Just put the electronics in the sabers you like to play with at that time, and you just swap around the electronics. But I'm thinking like how that's going to play out in regards of the ASP, 2.5 lights boards. Will they be cheaper than the offering we looked at? It was $250 for a Sabre Core 3.0 plug and play kit. Will that mean that the 2.5 USA and 2.5 import will be cheaper than $250? Because if you look at it, the Sabre Core 3.0 plug and play was $200, right? But if you look at the upgrades that we just looked at, they're charging you $155 or $200 respectively to upgrade it from an empty hilt to the 2.5 light kit. So there is already discrepancy, because the 2.5 USA soundboard costs you $200 to have it installed in your hilt, right? So we just look at the ASP Sabre Core 2.0, costs you $250 for a whole kit. You can toss it in any hilt you want, so you have all the flexibility. But I mean, if you just think about it, then the veteran 2.5 kit is actually not so economically good for you, because it's the same amount of money as the Sabre Core 3.0 plug and play kit. It was set at $200 to have it fully installed. Of course, it will not. If you buy the plug and play kit, it will not come with a plate. It will not come with a charger. Okay, you need to buy them separately. But most of us will have maybe 3, 4, 5 hilts. So I would argue you're still better off with the Sabre Core 3.0 plug and play kit versus upgrading an empty Elite Sabre to the 2.5 import or USA soundboard kits. Because if you just look at it, maybe you guys think differently about it. Let me read you guys' comments as well. Basketball Mark said, check out War Sabers. Yep, I'm actually in contact with them. I'm gonna buy a board from them, and I'm gonna check it out. Nick says, there's a little off topic, but what's your opinion between Saberforge boards, Ultra Sabers, Obsidian, Soundboard? I will do the review at some point, Nick. I will do it. I'm sorry. I just it's this is the thing for me. Crest says, do you think it can break easily, because my nephew broke my 2.0 soundboard because Saberforge didn't put like they put in it in the way they put it. Yeah, so it will be the same, guys. If you buy your Sabercore soundboard, it doesn't matter if it's a plug and play kit or if it's the upgrade kit, the veteran kit, or the champion tier or the hero tier, electronics will never come in a chassis with Saberforge. It's duct tape. Well, not duct tape. They use a shrink tape with the battery, soundboard, duct tape together, and that's it. There's no additional protection. That is Saberforge. That's Saberforge. So in that sense, yeah, it's not secure. If you look at a Sabre Trio for $250, you get a Delrin chassis. You get a very secure way that in which your soundboard is mounted. Same with Vader's Vault, basically. Very strong, secure way to do it. But yeah, Saberforge don't do that, and they still are more expensive. But it also comes down, guys, I need to be honest. I mean, Sabre Trios is much cheaper, but yeah, if you don't like the hilts, then and you like really like a certain Saberforge hilt, yeah, then you're stuck to buying more and buying a premium price for something that you can get for $100 less with Sabre Trio. But again, it's all about choices, guys. Certain Sabres companies or Sabre Smiths have hilts that you really want. You just really want to have that hilt, despite it being more expensive. So arguably, yeah, I mean, there's also that portion of personal taste, design and whatnot comes into play that defines what you're gonna buy or not. Crusty Max, I'm sorry, don't kill me, please. But I wanted to have this video out for you guys and for myself as well to discuss with you guys, because it's interesting nonetheless. Now I'm very curious about the soundboards. I also checked the Etsy website, and it doesn't seem to be on sale on the Etsy website either yet. So I feel like a little bit strange that they announced new soundboards, but normally the first place where you find new products is on Etsy, but in this case that is not there whatsoever. So I feel like that is kind of strange. Either way, I would like to know from you guys, are you interested picking up the veteran board? If you're watching this online, offline, what do you guys think? Is it something you want to pick up, or you say I'm just gonna go straight for the Sabercore 3.0 because this and this reason? For example, I would say, well, I want to have the flexibility to have sound banks on which I can put my own sound fonts that I want. I have that flexibility. So that would be a big drive for me to have the Sabercore 3.0. Plus, I can alter all kinds of parameters and settings like flashing, the motion sensitivity and whatnot from the computer. No, Nick, it's all fine. You can ask me. I just need to. I just need. There's so much stuff I still need to get my hands on. So much stuff, but a limited amount of resources. So I personally also think the price difference between the 2.5 veteran soundboards and Sabercore 3.0 soundboards is quite minimal. Arguably, you can say, yeah, it's what is it? 65. No, is it 65? Yeah, $65 difference with the cheapest veteran soundboard against the Sabercore 3.0 soundboard, and then we have $50 difference with the more expensive USA soundboard. So I think $50 difference, that is not too much. That's actually too little. But the problem is Saberforge cannot put it cheaper on the market. The reason why is that these soundboards still need to be installed by people. They need to pay a labor fee for those people, right? You need to pay them salary. You cannot make it lower than that it is. If that person is gonna cost you $30 per hour to install, and you need to basically also pay off other things that are coming into play with employing staff for such as paying part of their tax or paying parts of their insurance and whatnot, that also needs to be included in that hilt. So because he's probably, or she is probably spending half an hour, 1 hour soldering that soundboard in that Saberforge Sabre. So they cannot lower the price much more because the labor has to be included in the price. So from that point of view, I feel I don't fully understand why would you buy a veteran soundboard from Saberforge if it's only $50 or $65 respectively difference, because that, to me, $50 isn't as significant. Plus all the extra stuff you get from the Sabre Core 3.0 soundboard, I feel it's like why would you ever actually buy a veteran board in that case? Like what like is it like you're gonna spend already? We saw the price, right? You're already gonna spend $350 on the cheapest light soundboard, the 2.5 light import board. $350. You're gonna pay for that. Does that extra the extra $50 gonna make that much of a big difference if you're talking about those prices already? I think at that point you're already spending a lot of money for a lightsaber, right? Does that really gonna give you the incentive or not to say, okay, that $50, I'm so happy you're gonna save that. I rather have $50 in my pocket versus having the better soundboard where I can put my own sound fonts on. And I think you probably want to have the latter. So I think the soundboard's way too expensive. I was really hoping that you could buy a Saberforge Elite Saber at $250 at $250 towards, including the soundboard, right? Either the import or the USA board. You can choose $250 max. I think that would make more sense than starting at $350. Maybe $250. That's actually quite fair. I mean, just look at Sabre Trio, a very small company. They can do it. The Pico Crumble version 2 is a very similar soundboard to what we just saw. I know, Crashmac, I totally understand the budget is important, but does $50 difference make or break your budget? Like $50 US, I mean, I feel like $50 US is a lot of money. I wouldn't like to lose it out of my wallet for sure, but if you saved up so much money, I mean, that $50, that's not a big gap. I feel that's too small of a gap. I'd rather see it's $250, $275. It's Saberforge, so it must be a little bit more expensive, right? Just go to the Sabre Trio website, for example, or go to Electrum Saber's website, or the Pach Store or Wonderforce website. You see lightsabers there for max $300 with a much more high-end board, comparable or even better than the Sabre Core 3.0 soundboard for $250/$300. It's just not in line. Saberforge is still not aligned with their elite, veteran boards. I feel it's too expensive. Okay, Crossmac. Okay, fair enough. Crossmac says, think about the import taxes. Those $50 may fuck you over. Fair enough. That's a good one. If you are an international buyer, though, most of the lightsaber buyers are domestic buyers. They're based from the US. They buy from a US company. That is like 80 or maybe 85% of the sales of all Sabre companies based in the US. The other 10-50% are foreigners, including myself and you, buying lightsabers overbroad. It definitely can have a negative impact on your import taxes and that you need to pay and whatnot. So I can definitely see it for international buyers. I can see the point that you make. But if you live in the US, I see there's no point there. There's no point to go for the light board, which is such a small amount of difference in terms of costs, I think personally it's $50 is not enough. The difference. It should, I think, I don't know what you guys think, or at what price should they put the soundboards on the market? What is the price you say? Okay, that would be better. So I would arguably say they should have put this on the market, including the hilts. Let's say they wanna push you to buy certain hilts because they have an overstock of them. Make them cheaper on those hilts. But I would say this hilt, this soundboard here, should max be $100. That makes the difference. That is in between a warrior tier, no sound, and the Saberforge 3.0. It's right in the middle. Now they're on the very close to the edge, so they're like 80%. You're already 80 or 90% of paying for Saberforge 3.0. That is too close to the end goal or the end cost of 300 the Saberforge 3.0. If they went a few steps back, met the middle ground, 50%, $100 extra, you get the upgraded 2.5 soundboard in any of your Saberforge sabers. That would be the sweet spot, in my personal opinion. So I feel it's too expensive. Well, sometimes Crash says sometimes in Etsy it's cheaper. I found a soundboard in $45. I think it sounds better than the Crimson soundboard. Okay, cool. Do you know which board that was? And Ritsuyuka Ayugi say, hey Rebel, been watching your stuff for a bit. I busted one of the Saberforge 3.0 soundboards in a day. Sucks, but it's meh. How come? What happened? Was it what happened? Hey Mike, thanks for tuning in. Sorry I saw your messages, but I'm blocked on Facebook. I was naughty. I was blocked for the last 5 days, so I couldn't like, I couldn't reply, I couldn't do anything. So I will get back to you, or I saw you posted a link and I watched the link, but I couldn't do anything. I'm sorry about that. And so I need to get back to you guys. But hey Lord Makeen, thanks for tuning in. We're just discussing the new Saberforge boards and the cost and the features of Sab boards. I'm gonna stay with the opinion that I'm not gonna knock the boards because they seemingly are reasonable boards. I personally I'm a fan of the Pico Crumble boards. I like the light boards. Just simply one sound font. You have RGB color changing on the fly. You have like a little nice compact board. You don't always need the high-end stuff. That's what I have. I can really enjoy a light soundboard. And that's why I really love my Sabre trios, because it's just a light setup and it's just enjoyable. It's just pure enjoyable Sabre to play with. And these soundboards can do exactly the same. I just personally do feel they're put on the market too expensive, and the gap between the Saberforge 3.0 and these light boards is not too great. It's actually way too little in my personal opinion. I would arguably say you're paying $85 too much, and for this one you're paying maybe $75 too much. It's just the difference is too small. And I strongly recommend go for the route of buying the plug and play Saberforge 3.0 soundboard if you really want to have a Saberforge soundboard. Go for that route. Buy some empty hilts. It is in the long run much cheaper. You can have a whole bunch of empty hilts, nice on the shelves. You drop the plug and play electronics in any of the hilts whenever you feel like playing with that hilt. It's an easy thing to fix and do. I mean, it's just a few wires and you're gonna play with that Sabre. And when you get bored of that hilt, you take out the electronics, put it in on the hilt. Maybe you go cosplaying, or you go whatever you're gonna do. You don't need to have electronics in every hilt. But that's my personal opinion, and maybe you guys say no, I just want to have a few sabers. Every saber must be a full experience. I need everything in there. Fair enough. Crossing Max says, which one should I get? The new KR or KR4 or Flextana? I would say the Flextana looks freaking awesome. That looks freaking awesome. I'm gonna get the Flextana. KR4 is of course very nice too. Ritsuka, sorry, I butcher your name. Ritsuka says, so I found out that Plector Soundforge work with it, so I customized with Sidious, No Mercy, and Dark Meat. However, for some reason, no matter how I tried sensitivity, it wouldn't change. Okay, that sucks. Chris Klaas, I'm a fan of the Flextana. Yay, me three. Ritsuka, sorry, I butchered your name. So trying to change it several times led me to bricking the soundboard. Oh shit, okay. Hopefully Saberforge can fix that really soon for you. Mike says, to be honest, I will never get a Saberforge soundboard. I only have Plector stuff at the moment, but I would like to try Sabre someday. Ah, yes, that's the soundboard I'm gonna try out. Now, hopefully it gets your Sabre fast back, Ritsuka. Lord McKean says, I only get electronics and hilt for cosplay. I get stunts and hilts for used for dueling. That's also the way to go. I love that. Crash says, if you want a new Sabre, my brother is selling a new Auto Sabers Graflax in $90 because he's happy. In Amazon. Is selling a new Auto Sabers Graflax. Wow, $90 for a Graflax? Count me in. Sign me up. I want it. What happened to it? Did he fry it? Did he stole it? $90. That's cheap. Does it come with electronics here? This is completely stripped. Anyway, guys, the Saberforge 2.5 veteran boards are out there. You can purchase yourself from Saberforge website. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this live or offline what you think about the soundboards. Are you gonna buy into these boards, or you say I'm gonna invest the money, spend a little bit more money for the Saberforge 3.0 soundboard, or maybe you say, well, I'm gonna go for neither because for this and that reason. Let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. I need to go off the computer very soon because my wife is back soon and she probably needs to play computer, and I am released from the Facebook jail by now, I believe, which I gonna take use of and get back to some people, including Mike, to reply to their questions they had on Facebook. So thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate for everybody tuning in, and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Buy this game.
Yeah, buy it. Buy it.
OGGY.
Bye, guys.
Buy over the cat.